And I would request Laxman sir to stay back on the stage and to do the session that is on the topic, the future CFO, key competencies and development. For this, Laxman K Prasad is the group CFO of Aspect Global, leading the company's financial strategy, performance and governance. With over 27 plus years of experience across diverse industries, he drives sustainable growth, operational efficiency and long-term value creation. As a group CFO, he oversees financial planning, treasury, risk, investor relations, tax, and so on. Previously, he held senior finance role at Celebi Airport Services, Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, Reliance Industries, Voltas, and L.L.B. Jha & Co., where he spearheaded transformation and profitability initiatives. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon. I think I'll take on what Dr. Tripathi ended his speech, saying that no one can replace CFO. Actually is the truth. So let's start saying that yes, a CFO will not be replaced, but CFO has to sharpen their skill. As the dates are changing, as DAs are changing, as the technology are changing, and the entire ecosystem are changing. So when I talk about my topics about the key competencies and development for the CFO, current or futures, or near future rather, I would say, it's not something we don't know. In this room, there are many CFOs sitting, or probably there are many aspiring CFOs sitting. So what I'm trying to do here is, I'm going to categorize those thoughts, those competencies and development needs in certain buckets. Let's say 5 to 7 buckets, and summarize those points. And at the end, I'm happy to take few questions or rather interactions to, if you have certain viewpoint or certain point to add on those thoughts, you'll be very happy for all of us to gain some insight from collective learning. When I go about this company, there are 5 buckets actually I'm trying to look at entire competency need for a CFO. The first and the foremost, the basics things which a CFO need to have is acumen. When I say acumen, there are various types of acumen. We need to be mindful, we need to be understandable, we need to look at and able to apply those acumen in a real practical scenarios. When I talk about the first thing is the financials. Yes, it is in our blood. We know blood. We know what exactly the financial analysis all about, whether ROI or ROC or IRR or EBITDA or PBT, PAT, but which business is to evaluate it in which financial parameter, it's your acumen. All businesses cannot be evaluated in ROC. If it is capital intensive, yes, ROC could be an important factor, but it can't be in EBITDA, it can't be used in all the businesses. If in a financial sector, you have a different kind of return to evaluate it. So understanding those nuances, understanding those technical aspect of business evaluation, performance evaluation, and applying those to a particular situation is the important competency a CFO must have. Because CFO is the guy who is going to guide you, not only CEOs, but to the board. Here's the way we need to measure our performance. Here is the way I have to measure our business expansion, our investment portfolios, investment in the future, technology, or business, whatever XYZ. So you need to know which technology and where to apply, and you need to elaborate and explain that to CEOs and the board. I think that's the very, very fundamental aspect of CFO competencies. Moving to the tax. I'm not expecting a CFO to be very, very thorough with each section, rules and regulations, processes. But what I understand, how many of you know there's a Pillar 2 tax coming up in India can impact your business and globally? It is. But are we really know what is Pillar 2 tax is all about? Do you have a basic understanding of Pillar 2 tax? This is what I expect a CFO to know. You can go and attend the conferences like this. The expert from field will come and tell you what is a Pillar 2 and what likely impact is going to be. As a global global minimum tax of 15% is going to impact your business. Are your business more than 750 million pounds size? It's going to impact you. OECD coming up with the rules. It's there for many years. It's something I'm talking about new. But what important here is that you need to know the tax implication in your decision making, whether it's a current tax laws or is a upcoming tax laws. That's another important acumen for any business, any CFO to have it. Now, next is the accounting. I think, sometimes I say the way the world of accounting evolving, I am saying is accounting become a philosopher, in a philosophy. We talk about IAS 16, we talk about IFRIC 12, in IFRS or IFRS adjustments. This is actually sometimes don't get you real sense of business. We are so much doing, evaluations of future rights, current liability, future liability, tax adjusted, return adjusted, cost adjusted, tax interest adjusted. We sometimes get lost the real business analysis to that. As a CFO, you need to bridge a gap between accounting rules, whether it be IFRS, Ind AS, IGAAP, US GAAP, versus the business need, what information needed. So that accounting knowledge of bridging those gaps is very, very important and basic. I don't think anyone in this organization can do better than a CFO. So that needs to be a sharpened skill as you. If I move to another is a global. Today we talk about Ukraine. In the past we had India, China, India, Pakistan. Is that global geopolitical scenarios, supply chain disruptions, where there's a tariff, Trump uncle tariff. So those all impact in your business needs to be explained, needs to be evaluated, needs to be able to forecast the risk associated to those global change is the important acumen. I would treat these are the first part acumen is a basic acumen a CFO should have. You must be able to understand those, explain those, analyze those, look into your business. And the most, I think, the Dr. Tripathi talked about risk. He talked about many risks. Yes, there are many risks, but a certain risk which only CFO should evaluate, in my view. Whether you talk about forex risk, you talk about your tax risk, you talk about your compliance risk. These are something no one else other than CFO. Yes, you have market risk, you have reputational risk. There are other people in the organization to look at those risks. But in certain risk, only CFO can look at. So I say I look at that this competency of risk evaluation, more particularly finance, compliance, tax perspective, is the CFO most important competencies to have with. If I'm moving to the management side, anything we do has to be a strategic way. Yes, we are not the CFOs don't drive the corporate strategy, but CFO align the financial strategy to a corporate strategy. And how you align, how do you suggest a capital allocation of your organizations, working capital allocation of your organizations, team allocation, technology selections, those are the things are important to align in their corporate strategies. There where the CFO is the people who bridge the gap between the expectation and this what the reality is all about. And the most important thing is you need to have a leadership, you need to take the team along with you, you need to manage your team, you need to guide your team, you need to equally make them technically and functionally. I don't know what happened. Okay. So this is the management part. If you go about the technology, I think this gentleman has spoke to too many things about the technologies. Yes, all are important, but we don't be a tech guy. We're not expected to be a CTO. You're not expected to know how to write program and how to do AI ML to be deployed, how the Gen AI is going to be used. But what important is that you need to have an understanding of technologies. Yes, AI, ML can impact your business. RPA can impact your business. How far? That understanding has to be there with you. And one more important, I always say is that when you go technology, you should know what to do. Equally important to know what not to do. All technology is not meant for all businesses. All things are not meant for everyone. But what meant for you, what is suitable to you is important, and that you have to choose, and that you have to decide, analyze, understand, and decide. And I always love to say that treat technology as your servant, not your master. You remain a master. And you drive the technology, let not technology drives you. If I move collaborations, as a leader, you need to collaborate. The most beautiful and collaboration, I would say, just CEO, CFO collaborations. And these two gentlemen actually drive entire business. When I say gentleman, it's a gender neutral. Let me clarify that. So this is what I'm saying. The CEO, CFO collaboration is important. Even I personally suggest, even if you don't have an agenda, spend 30, 45 minutes a week with your CEO. Have a chat, talk. I'm telling you, will get 1 or 2 new ideas. Bit about business, bit about risk, bit about people, bit about anything. Just have a chat in 30, 45 minutes a week. That's the way collaboration important. That's the way the business can be grown. Yes, you need to connect, collaborate with the investor, your lender, your bankers, your other team with the marketing, purchasing, sales. Those collaboration is important, but always I see the CEO, CFO collaboration is the most important factor. When I move the next, in competency part, and in my view, it will be the last and very critical, is the communications. Your ability to communicate externally, internally, and most time neglected communicated, what I am observed, is within your team. Often we do communicate internal, external, but oftenly we do less communication within the team. That we always take a granted, okay, team वो तो करेगा, उसको हम बोल दिया करेगा, उससे बात करने की जरूरत नहीं हो, बंदा अच्छा है, yes अच्छा है, but he may be having problem. Have chat, informal chat, spend time, talk, communicate. That's, you'll get a lot of things to learn yourself, a lot of things to share with them. That's what I'd say is important from the competencies point of view. Let me also say something about in terms of development. Again, few pointers. Broadly coming to from what competencies is, you may have it, may need to sharpen certain things, may need to focus on certain development things on if you have to move into the next ladder, if you are not there. If you are there, further next ladder is develop soft skill. As a leader, always a soft skill is very, very important. You need to communicate, you need to present, you need to be a team building, take team along, everything, doing people, collaboration, soft skill is play very, very critical role. Technology, you have to embrace, there's no choice about it, but have an understanding, as I said earlier, have an understanding which technology to do, what not to do. That's understanding and implementations of technology is the key development perspective. Yes, if you want to grow, you have to prove that you have done something great. There has to be some track record of your impact. You must create some impact in organization. Its impact was the growth of business, impact of profitability, impact of transformation, impact of digitalization, impact of team management. Create, demonstrate, yes, this is what I've done to the organization. And say proud, you should be proud to yourself, your organization should be proud of your contributions. That impact is important to be the front runner, to be a competitor for your next goal. And the center stage I always put is a leadership and influencing. You have to have leadership, you have to have influence ability, influencing internally and externally, influencing to your auditor, influencing to your bankers, leaders. Yeah, that's all we do. Negotiate many things. We negotiate with lender, we negotiate with the auditor, we negotiate with regulator. But your ability to influence, to regulate, to regulators or anybody is the important, and where you are able to demonstrate your leadership skill. Try to seek diverse exposures within the organization, yes, outside the organization also, but look at different aspects of finance, right from the IPO preparation to tax to transformation to business finance. At this time, diversified industries, diversified geographies, locations. So that will give you a multifaceted exposure and understanding of the businesses, and that when you move to that position, you will be able to demonstrate, able to contribute more meaningful an effective way. Nothing can happen without a team. We need to take your team along with you. We need to manage your talent. You need to ensure that along with your development, your growth, team development and team growth is equally important. You need to ensure that the team is always charged up, always motivated, and have a very clear-cut path for the team to move on. And in the last, again I would say, in this cultivate co-pilot in technological term, non-technological term. When say co-pilot technological term, you say live with AI. I think the previous gentleman spoke about many things about the AI pros and cons. Yes, life is to live with the co-pilot way. Live with your Microsoft co-pilot or real life co-pilot. Be a co-pilot in your driving seat, whether in front or is just second. But be with your team, be your co-pilot and drive the organization, not alone, but as a team. At the end, I only say, do whatever. You are not the sarva. You are not everything. Let everything be left to CEOs. Let the CEO take everything and you be part with CEO to drive your business, to drive your growth. That's it from my side. Thank you very much. I'm happy to have a question if anyone has.
Any one or two questions? All right. Thank you, Laxman sir. I would request you to please stay back on the stage, and to do the felicitation, I would request Dr. C.A. Ramakant Tripathi to do the felicitations. Huge round of applause for Mr. Laxman K Prasad.
Changing the race. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.